All right. Hello, everyone. It's 11:33, and I'm sorry, my video. Right. Hello, it's 11:33, and we have around 50 participants now. So we will begin the session. So good morning, namaste, and welcome to you all to this wonderful session we have for you today. My name is Anish, and I am a member of Yogastha IIT Bombay. So Yogastha in collaboration with Mantra of Life, which is an initiative by IIT Bombay alumni, we bring to you this talk, the New Year Evolution, a monk's perspective on leading a life with purpose and fulfillment. So before we begin today, I would like to invite Professor Neeraj Kumbakarna, who is the faculty mentor for Yogastha and our guide who is always with us, to share a few words. So I hand over the mic to sir. Welcome.
Namaste. So I am Neeraj. I am faculty member here in the Mechanical Engineering Department. Currently, I act as the faculty mentor for the Yogastha Students Group. It's a group of very dynamic, motivated young students and has been very active throughout, even throughout this COVID period in conducting Yogastha activities. So I thank them for putting this all together, putting this event together. So I was the blurb that went out as a publicity with the intent of publicizing this event on the email. What it read was, it read that learn how to harness the full potential of Chitta, Mana and Buddhi to always make the right day-to-day decisions and achieve your goals. And it also talks about the social media and how it has taken over our lives. So while reading this, I got reminded of a very amusing incident which happened with a very close family acquaintance of mine. So he was looking for potential brides. He was ready to get married, and also he was had floated some profiles on matrimonial websites and such. So he liked the profile of one lady, and what he did is, so when I met him, he said that, okay, I like this profile. So what I'm going to do is, I have a very fancy motorcycle, and I'm going to take a picture of myself on that motorcycle and put it on Facebook, and then I'll get a lot of likes. And after seeing those likes, the lady will get impressed. So I met him the next day. He said, I did it, and in one day I got 50 likes. So this is great, and now this is fine. And then I met him one day later. He was very sad. I asked him, what's the issue? He said that, well, the lady also put up a picture and she got 100 likes. And this is more than me. So he was very sad. So something as feeble as social media, Facebook likes and dislikes are making you happy 1 day and very sad the next day, right? And the tagline of our Yogastha group is Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. Samatvam means equipoise. And where is your equipoise? And then how are you going to hold yourself together if you get disturbed with Facebook likes and dislikes? How are you going to hold yourself together in a world that is so mired with uncertainties? Look at where we were a year ago. Everything was guzzling, going nice. And look at where we are now. The pandemic has, although we are bouncing back, but the pandemic, it changed the whole thing. So in a world that is now full of so many uncertainties, how are you going to hold yourself together? So with exactly that intention, so to understand ourselves, understand our chitta, manas and buddhi, and to learn how to hold ourselves together and make progress and evolve, this session has been put together. So thanks to the Yogastha group. Thank you very much to our speaker, Shri Amogh Lila, for agreeing to spare your time and addressing us. Welcome, and we all look forward to a very enlightening session with you. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for those words of wisdom. So, as sir mentioned, our esteemed guest for the day is Amogh Lila Das ji. I'll just give a brief introduction before handing it over to the people from Mantra of Life. So, he is a celebrated monk and the president of ISKCON Dwarka in Delhi. And he has been a speaker and co faculty at the Indian Institute of Management in Ahmedabad. So, many of you may have also seen his videos on YouTube, which are very insightful, motivational, and fun. There's even one on 5 things to remember before marriage. So, that's something that your friend may have seen. Okay. Anyway, so we hope that through this talk, we can all have a fun, meaningful discussion, learn something new, and take something home with us. So once again, thank you all for joining. Do enjoy the session. And I now hand over the mic to Nirant Patil ji, who is a member of Mantra of Life, and he will carry forward the session from here. So thank you all, and I hand over the mic.
Good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you all for taking out your valuable time for today's session. I'm Niran Patil and a volunteer at Mantra of Life. I'm also an IITB alumnus and I've worked with ICICI Lombard as an actuarial analyst. Mantra of Life is a group of IIT alumni from various IITs and corporates, and we wish to share the wisdom that we have gained from our study in IIT and in the corporate world. I'm extremely glad to have Amogh Lila Prabhu as our speaker for today. Before we begin, I would want to introduce him. Amogh Lila Prabhu is guest faculty of IIM Ahmedabad for Bhagavad Gita course on Management Sutras. He has worked as software engineer in multinational companies like HP, Eon, Hewitt in India, as well as in New Jersey in US for 6 years. He has been a speaker in IIT Patna, IIT Delhi, NIT Jalandhar, and many other universities. He hosts weekly live Q&A sessions on Radio Nasha. He's a motivational and inspirational source for thousands on YouTube. You must have seen his videos. He's a scriptwriter of Vaikuntha Players Drama Group, and he delivers lectures all around the world in various countries. Before we begin, I'd also like to tell the schedule that we'll have the lecture till 12, around 45 minutes of the lecture, and then we'll have a 15 minutes Q&A session. And in the meanwhile, we'll also share a feedback form, which we request all the participants to fill up before they exit the session. We welcome you, Amogh Lila Das sir, and handing over to you now.
Thank you very much. I think there is someone behind you who is selling vegetables.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Life has to go on, right?
Yeah, of course, that's true. All flavors, all colors are required, and that's also one of them. All right, thank you all very, very much for inviting me. I'm really privileged to be amongst all of you this August assembly of so many learned people and those who are grooming themselves and for a bright future. And today, the topic which has been assigned to me is in New Year evolution, is what we are going to discuss today. So, sincere gratitude to all of you, and I hope I'll be of some service to all of you. And that is once again a sincere gratitude. Hare Krishna. I'll just offer a small prayer and then we'll begin with the topic. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmritamira Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Okay, so New Year evolution. Yeah, evolution has to be there. We need to evolve ourselves. And before we start evolving, it is very important that we understand the need of evolution. And only those people are able to understand the need of evolution, those who know that we are having a very precious commodity, which is always slipping out of our hand, and that is time. We are not going to stay here forever. So time is limited, a lot is to be achieved. So seeing this, that I have got a lot to achieve and the time is limited, then there comes a desperate need to evolve ourselves because time just passes by. I remember once I was just passing by a park and few children, they were playing cricket. And as they were playing cricket, so the ball, it just came to me. Um, so one of the boy who was fielding, he said, "Uncle, ball dena chara." And I was thinking, uncle, 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 uncle. I was thinking, man, uncle. So there was a time when I used to play cricket, and in case the ball would go out of the boundary, and there is an uncle, and I would say, "Uncle, ball dena." And today somebody is calling me, "Uncle, ball dena." So time actually flies. Time really flies. So that way, it is very important that to know that time is passing by. Time is a commodity where where we cannot get it back. As Chanakya Pandit used to say that even a single moment cannot be brought back with the wealth of the entire world. So it is certainly most precious commodity. But usually it is seen that in this world, people spend time in a very cyclic way, in a very mechanistic way. This is how the life goes. Yeah, usually somebody watches the television, and the television he sees a certain kind of advertisement, and seeing an advertisement, a commodity, a thing to purchase. So one watches the television, watch, and then afterwards, and then he's running. Why? So that he can buy. But I need money. But I need to work for so that I can watch the TV, and I see something in the TV, and then I run, and then I buy, then work, and then run, and then buy. In this way, a very cyclic way of life just goes on. It is very dry. It makes the heart very dry. In the corporate sector, I worked for 6 years, and I worked with some top-notch professionals whose pay scale is like, say, 1 crore rupees per annum or so, and they have everything at their disposal. Yet they live a very dry life, actually. And one of my center head, he knew that I got a spiritual connection with the Hare Krishnas. So he would often call me in his cabin and would discuss something about the purpose of life and something like that he would discuss. So that one can come out of this a mechanistic, a cyclic template of life, actually. So time is passing by. We all pass. Even great, powerful people in this world, ultimately they pass by. Like during the time of Napoleon, it used to be said that um, France is Napoleon, Napoleon is France. But we see that currently Napoleon is not there, but France is still there. So, but there was a time when Napoleon ruled. Yeah. Similarly, Muhammad Ali, he was such a powerful boxer, a champion. Whenever he would enter the ring, so everyone would exclaim, I fly like a butterfly, I fly like a butterfly, I sting like a bee, I sting like a bee, I am undefeated, Muhammad Ali, Muhammad Ali, Muhammad Ali, like an echo. Yeah. But of course, as he reached his later part of life, he got Parkinson's disease. And that's why he was not able to even hold a cup of coffee. Those punches would knock down the opponents. Now, those hands are not able to catch hold of a coffee cup because of Parkinson's disease. That's the nature of time. Oh, I saw recently one photograph of Arnold Schwarzenegger, the one of Terminator 2 and Terminator and Predator series. Arnold Schwarzenegger really now being impacted by time. We had Aurangzeb, who did so much, my God, in India. But during his last moment, when he was there with his son, he was actually contemplating that throughout my life, what did I do? What was something substantial did I do? And he was repenting and he was contemplating. Like somebody is traveling in a train, and if say somebody asks him, oh, "Okay, sir, you are traveling in a train. Why did you board the train?" And the person says, "Well, since everyone boarded the train, so I also board the train." Oh, acha. So where will you go? Actually, where you are getting down? He said, "Well, where everyone will get down, I'll also get down." So what would be your comment about such a person? You would say, well, this person doesn't seem like he's mentally, he doesn't seem like he's mentally balanced. Similarly, somebody asks us, okay, why are you living? And our reply is, well, everyone is living. So I am also living. अच्छा, so लाइफ में करना क्या है लेकिन आपको जी जो सब करेंगे वो हम भी कर लेंगे. So ऐसे व्यक्ति को क्या बोलेंगे, mentally balanced or mentally imbalanced? Well, same answer. And that is, you will see that most of the people in this world, they live a kind of life where there is no purpose. And when there is no purpose at all, even if we achieve great things in life, we become very powerful in terms of power, post, position, aristocracy. We are on the apex. We are there where we want to be. But why we want to be? So when that question is not there, then people take to sometimes drugs and sometimes smoking and drinking. And because now what next? I'm getting all of this, but why? Why? And when we do not have this question, then the person feels very hollow and shallow in one's life. Like if somebody is having a car race, and we have seen that sometimes when there's a car which is now leaving me behind, and in a race I'm going to be behind this car, so we race. We also race so that I can leave this car behind. And this way, when there is a competitive mentality, the person who's driven too much by the competitive mentality is seen that that person may leave this car behind. but I may go much away from 20 kilometers away from my destination because I got lost in this competition. So this is what happens actually in our lives. And also, like you might have seen this children sometimes when they are playing on the seashore, and they make small castles, and they make a hole out of that castle, and they also shake their hands, and they, yeah, we made such a beautiful castle. But then the wave comes off the ocean, and then it just dismantles the castle. Similarly, when we are also living our lives and we are having good times, we should also understand that life should not be just spent making castles on the seashore. No, life has got a purpose. Life has got a purpose. And those who do not live with this higher purpose in life, they are not able to evolve themselves, actually. Now, now what stops us, what behooves us to evolve? Usually it is seen that if we have done some kind of mistakes in the past, and those mistakes, they discourage us to evolve. Yeah, because I had done some mistakes, so I feel, well, maybe this time also I would do a mistake. This time also I would not be able to do it. Like, say, for example, getting up early in the morning. Some people have just given up. मैं नहीं उठ सकता, मेरे से तो होना ही नहीं है. I'm just not going to get up. Even though every year I made this resolution that I'll wake up for my evolution, but I just could not get up. So people sometimes then have got various kind of alarm clocks and so many kind of methods they employ just so that they can get up early in the morning, because all successful people are early risers. Yeah. In fact, there's one alarm clock I came to know that it's a jigsaw puzzle alarm clock. As soon as there is alarm, so there is all these pieces of the jigsaw puzzle, they are thrown in the air, and then you have to get them back in their place. Without doing this, the alarm would not go off. One of the alarm, I came to know that it has got 10 pins. As soon as there is an alarm, all these pins are thrown in the air. Now you have to search for those pins and then get them back in their place, and then the alarm would go off. Are baba, re baba. In fact, there is in Germany, they have got one bed which is known as the alarm bed. It is from the Hager's company. This entire room is actually programmed so that the person can wake up. As soon as, for example, say if I want to get up at 5 o'clock, at 5 o'clock, entire room will have the scenery as if it is already now 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, lit up. Then there is sunshine, and there are rivers are flowing and all that, so that one can feel that, yes, okay, now it is quite late. I should just get up. In case if that also the person is not getting up, then now there is sprinkling of water, and there's sprinkling of water, and then the person can get up. Still, if the person is sleeping, so the last thing which is there in this alarm bed, or the alarm room, is eject mode. That means a person is just thrown out of the bed, which is the last mode, eject mode. So that I can just get up. So what to speak of God? Even for their own health, people are not able to get up early in the morning. I've seen that. So that is sometimes because of mistakes which we have done in the past. These mistakes, they behoove us, they discourage us to take a new year resolution. But we all have to understand, to err is human and to forgive is divine. We do make mistakes, and from the mistakes, in case we learn, that's perfectly fine. But we do make mistakes. There was one guy, um, uh, he shared with his neighbor. He said that your wife is very good. I keep sharing your wife, especially when you are not there. I share your wife, and it's pretty good. This guy became so angry, just took out his pistol and shot that guy. And how dare he? He said, your wife is good. I share your wife in your absence. How dare he? So he just shot him down. As he came back, he was thinking that how can this guy can write such a message to me? And the second part of the message was, I'm sorry, it was not wife, it was Wi-Fi. Your Wi-Fi is very good. I share your Wi-Fi, especially in your absence. It's pretty good. So we all tend to make mistakes. I remember once I used to send some messages to one of our groups. So one lady, she was sharing, thank you very much for your massage. It is helping me a lot. I thought that I'm going to be in some kind of scandal now. A lady is sending me that I'm very happy with your massage. And then she said, no, I'm sorry, it's message. Thank you for your message. Your messages are really helping me. So that is, mistakes can happen. We should know that, yes, we are there to make mistakes, because in this world, who can save oneself from committing mistakes? We do commit mistakes. But in case we are learning from the mistakes, that's very good. Mistakes would happen because we all are human. And that's why, as I mentioned, to err is human and to forgive is divine. Mistakes hongi, bilkul hongi. But yes, we should, but there are always measures so that we can reform ourselves. And that case, I would say GPS is very inspiring for us. In GPS, it tracks it tracks a certain route for us. That here is a route for you to reach your destination. In case we have not followed the route, in case we take a wrong turn, it reprograms itself so that okay, so from, if not this way, then from this way you can reach your destination. Again, if we do a mistake, again it reprograms it. Again it reprograms it. Similarly, if in case we are making a mistake, we should learn from GPS that there is always a way to correct ourselves. There's always a way. One of my friend, his name is Shankar Jaina, very intelligent boy. And during his college days, he knew that, somehow he had this intuition that what is going to be there in the paper. He would study for 20-30% of the syllabus, and then only from that 20-30% syllabus the questions would come, and then he would attempt and then pass with 80-90 marks with flying colors. So the teacher told him, he said, Shankar, you also know that you don't deserve these marks, because throughout the day you are just playing. You bunk classes, yet you score 85% marks, 90% marks. You know that you do not deserve these marks. You know that. He said, yes, sir, I know that. I don't deserve this marks. So then the teacher said, well, Shankar, in case you are getting marks which you do not deserve, ideally one should study and then get good marks. In case you are getting good marks, then at least after getting good marks, you should study. He said, yes, sir, of course, I'll study. Of course, he was very good. He did his engineering with very good marks, and then he was working in Hyundai. So that ways, we should understand that sometimes we are blessed. In a way, we are blessed. In so many ways, we are blessed. But that does not mean that we should not groom ourselves just because we are naturally blessed. No, it is not like that. But still, we should groom ourselves. There was one boy, um, his father asked him, he said, the father asked him, okay, 8 nines are, what's the answer? He said 62. So the father rewarded him. So the father's friend, he said, well, he said 62, it is actually 72. He said 62. Why do you reward him? He said, well, yesterday he was saying 52. Today he has come to 62. Tomorrow he will say 72. So that way we should understand that we do make mistakes, but there are always chances that we can evolve ourselves. We can learn from the mistakes, and we should just move ahead like that. Like in Mahabharata comes a very good example of Ghatotkach. Ghatotkach, when he was hit by the Shakti weapon from Karna, so he had the option either to fall back or fall forward. So then Bhima said, my dear son, do not fall backside, fall forward. Do not fall backside. So Ghatotkach, instead of falling backside, he fell forward. As he fell forward, so he was, just by his body weight, so many hundreds and thousands of the opponent's army men, they were crushed under him, like that. So sometimes we may also fall, but we should see that I may always fall forward in a way that there can be a learning experience. Like there is saying, when we fall, we pick something up. When we fall, we pick something up. And usually there are experiences, learnings they come. Once there was a very successful businessman. He was getting interviewed by a reporter. He said, sir, you are so successful, sir. You are so successful. What's the secret of your success? He said 2 words: right decisions. The reporter said, sir, what an answer. What an answer, sir. What an answer. So one more question, sir. How do you make right decisions, sir? And the business tycoon said, 1 word: experience. Experience. Reporter said, marvelous, sir. What an answer. What an answer, sir. So last question, sir. Last question. So how do you get experience? And the business tycoon said, 2 words: wrong decisions. Oh. So with the wrong decisions comes experience, and with experience comes the right decisions. So we do commit mistakes, so we should not be afraid of committing mistakes. That's very important. Thirdly, and very importantly, we should be ready to evolve from bad habits to good habits. Okay, we should evolve from bad habits to good habits. Now, often we are struggling with some kind of bad habit. It can be eating bad habit, drinking bad habit, sexual bad habit, different kind of bad habits we are often addicted to. And you often want to quit them, but we are not able to quit them. This happens. Every year there can be a resolution. Okay, from this year I'll quit this bad habit of becoming angry, becoming outspoken, and throwing all those AK-47 and the topaz blades from my tongue. And this year I will not do that. I'll not hurt anyone. But again, when there is a temptation, there is a provoking situation. Again, I did it, man. So usually it is seen that we are struggling with bad habits, right? Well, actually, we should not fight with bad habits. We should cultivate good habits and let these good habits fight with bad habits. That's the way to conquer the bad habits. Because habits are very deeply rooted. As they were saying that having a bad habit is like entering a very comfortable bed. Very easy to get in, but very difficult to get out. Right? You might have seen in some of the hotels, they have got five-star hotels, they've got a thickly cushioned bed. It's easy to enter. It's such a nice cushion, but very difficult to get out. Habits are like that. Habits are like that, especially bad habits. Easy to get in, difficult to get out. Especially during college days. Wow, there is so much facility to get into a bad habit because there are also friends who are saying, "Come on, man, mard ban mard. Yes, हो जाए." यार देखिए 4 साल ही हैं जिंदगी के, इसके बाद ये 4 साल वापस जिंदगी में नहीं आने हैं यार, नहीं आने हैं. ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड मैन. इस वक्त कोई सुपरविजन नहीं है, माता पिता घर में बैठे हैं, हम हॉस्टल में हैं. लेट्स डू इट, लेट्स लिव आवर लाइफ. जा सिमरन, जा जी ले अपनी जिंदगी. जा राहुल, जा जी ले अपनी जिंदगी. So often in college life, the freedom that we get, so that freedom inspire us to misuse this freedom. Yeah, that happens actually. That happens everywhere. In my BTech also, I could when I used to go to hostel sometimes to teach my classmates. Because I was staying in Delhi, so I had my college in Delhi. But sometimes I used to go to the hostel. Hostel, my God, the hostel of the college in my college. I'm telling you, it used to be worse than hell. Even people who are in hell would say, well, we are in heaven, seeing the condition of the hostel. But the room where they would invite me to teach them mathematics or computer science, C, C++, Java, Marjava, whatever, they would make that room, oh, very nice, very heavenly, flower pots and covered, and everything is neat and clean and all that. But we see that during the college days, there is always uh, a facility to spoil ourselves. Of course, little spoilage is understood because, of course, it's a college life. We are young. But when we are driven by bad habits, just too much, I've seen that students, they become too much distracted from their studies. Too much of distraction happens, actually. So that is, we should be very, very conscious during our college years. They are going to be very, very important years in our life. I remember those children who were those students during my batch in the year 2004 as we passed out. Those who are just into carnivals and dating and class bunking and all that, and after 1 or 2 years it becomes a habit. After passing the college, they were struggling to get a good job. Even after 5 years or 6 years of their career, they were getting 35,000 rupees job, which is like nothing. It's like a peanut. But why was that so? It was because before earning comes learning. Before earning comes learning. But when there was a time of learning, they were into bad habits. They were not working on self-evolution. They were just enjoying those small pleasures which are there, or writing love letters, and then going and bunking the class and going to McDonald's and having Mecca Tikki. They're just having fun, good time. Yeah, my 4 years of engineering. But of course, some gestures, some kind of festivity, of course, has to be there. But if somebody is driven by it just too much and doesn't work on one's evolution, one's personal evolution, then ultimately there is one thing which is left with us: repentance. We feel repentant that why I did not use those 4 years nicely, why I did not study, why I did not save myself from bad association, why didn't I? So that is one very important factor which also helps in evolution is association. Association is something which can make us. Association is something which can break us. That's there. Association. We should be very, very choosy in terms of association. If we are not choosy in terms of association, we become chooser. So we should not become a chooser. We should be choosy. We should be choosy about association. whom we talk to, whom we converse with, whom we communicate, we share our ideas. That's very, very important actually. Very, very vital. During the time of Albert Einstein, when he newly formulated his theory of relativity, so he was invited in various institutions to deliver the lecture. And now driver would sit on the driver's seat in the auditorium, and he would also listen to the lecture. So after 8 or 10 times, the driver said, "Well, sir, now even I can describe what is theory of relativity. I can give a lecture on theory of relativity." And Albert Einstein said, "All right, if you can describe, next time you deliver the lecture, I'll sit on the driver's seat. No problem." So he was driving Albert Einstein, and the driver who was posing as Albert Einstein, he was sitting on the backside, and everyone welcomed him. And then he delivered the speech. Perfect ditto copy, Control C, Control V, ditto copy. And everyone clapped. And then one student said, sir, I've got a question, sir. Question. Acha. Yes, what is your question? And then he asked a very hyper scientific question. Acha. Nice question. Very good questions. हमें ऐसे ही तो सवालों की तलाश रहती है हमको. But such an easy question. Even my driver can answer that. Driver, answer. So Albert Einstein, he answered. So, but even a driver could pose himself as Albert Einstein. Why? Because of his association. Association. So, in case if we want to evolve ourselves, it is very important that we choose our association very wisely. You see the drop, the raindrop. If it falls on the leaf of the lotus, it becomes a dew. If it falls in the mud, it becomes a mud. But if it falls in the oyster, then it becomes a pearl, right? But it is all about association. The same raindrop is falling everywhere, but they have their different destinations as per their association. Whether the dew, whether the mud, or becoming a pearl is all about association actually. It's all about association. So in case if I want to evolve myself, then it is very important that we see what kind of association is, on whom we are laughing at, on what things are we laughing at. Are we laughing on something very intellectual, or are we laughing on something, some cheap kind of jokes? What are we doing? What is our thinking pattern? That's very, very important in terms of our evolution actually. So yes, and also you will see that our conviction also comes from association. Usually when we want to have a resolve, we want to change ourselves, we want to evolve, then we need to have the conviction. But from where comes the conviction? Conviction comes from association. Yes, very important. So in case if I want to have a resolve, I want to change myself. Okay, one thing. Very good. Nice. Apart from resolve, we also need the environment to execute that resolve. Environment. Apart from environment, also requires this conviction. Achha, very nice. And along with conviction comes the association. From association will come conviction. That conviction will create the environment, and that environment will nourish our resolution. In case if I want to have a new year resolution to be executed, I need to go through this path, this 4 steps actually. First one is association. Association gives conviction, and that conviction helps me create the environment. Yeah, and then when there is an environment, then I'm able to execute that particular desire, that particular plan, that particular resolution. Then it actually happens. So that phase we see that this association plays such a vital role. Such a vital role. I have seen people who are scholars, who are very intelligent, but just because of bad association, they were destroyed. Like in Ramayana, we see the example of Kaikai. Actually, Kaikai's love for Lord Ram was much more than Kaushalya. But just because she was associating with Manthara, regularly she would associate with Manthara, her mind was so polluted that she became so much against Ram and became so much partial towards Bharat. But her original love for Ram was much more than even for Bharat. But just see, her desires got perverted to such an extent. Why? Because of bad association. Bad association. Even Duryodhan, we see that his mind was polluted by Shakuni so much. He was not that envious. He had some enviousness towards Pandavas, but Shakuni made his envious worse than hell, actually. So, association, very, very important. So, that's also a very important thing regarding self evolution. One more thing which is which you need to understand about personal evolution, self evolution, is that sometimes you will see that externals externally we are not evolving, but internally we are evolving. This happens. Once this happened that one time there was one person, God appeared to him, and then God asked him, I've got one project for you. He said, yes, my Lord, tell me what's the project. And the Lord said, here we have a huge stone. You have to push the stone. He said, I have to push the stone. Yeah, you have to push the stone. All right. So he kept pushing, 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 kept pushing. So 1 month passed. So Lord has one illusory potency. The illusion potency is Maya Shakti. So Maya came in. She said, come on, man, what are you doing? What kind of crazy project God has given to you? Pushing this stone? Ha! Come on, man. Just resign from this project. This guy said, yeah, that's true. That's true. I should resign. And then Maya Devi, she disappeared, and then God, he evoked the presence of God. He said, God, I'm resigning. I'm resigning. But God said, why are you resigning? What happened? He said, I'm resigning because I could not move this piece of stone even an inch of a distance. Even an inch of a distance, I could not move it. So what's the use? What's the use? So that's why, God, I just want to resign. That's it. So God said, but did I ask you to move it? I asked you that you have to just push it. I never asked you that you have to move it from one place to another place. I never asked you to do that. I just told you that you have to push it, right? I just asked you to push it. And you pushed it for past 1 month. And you said that nothing has happened. No, it is not like that. Take off his shirt. And as he took off his shirt, there were biceps and triceps and six pack and wow. So transformation happened? Happened. Externally, it did not happen. The big stone which was there, he could not budge that piece of stone even an inch of a distance. But inside, so much of transformation happened. Six pack, biceps, triceps, Alexander cheeks, and all that. Wow. So sometimes we see that in our lives there comes some kind of obstacles. And because of those obstacles, we see that I am not evolving. Others are growing, others are becoming successful. They are becoming achievers. But I'm not able to become an achiever. So what a damned life. Well, at that time I should see that when externally things are not moving, then maybe those things are in a way they are pushing me that I evolve internally. And that's the way we expose ourselves so that we chisel ourselves so that we become the better self. We become the better of our own selves. You know? Like once there was the marble on the floor and there was marble in the statue. So marble on the floor asked the marble in the statue. He said, hey, you are also marble. I'm also marble. But everyone steps on me. But everyone admires you. Why is that so? What's so special in you that everyone admires you and not me? They step on me. And then uh, the statue marble, he said, well, everyone comes and admires me because I was ready to be chiseled. I was ready to be chiseled. You were not ready to be chiseled. You're just ready for some kind of cutting and that's it. You were not ready for chiseling. And because you are not ready for chiseling, and that's why you are there as a marble floor. But I'm there as a statue because I was ready to be chiseled. So sometimes the difficulties they may come in our lives, but we should see that it is a time of chiseling where I'm evolving myself from to become a better thing. In the process of chiseling, it's a painful thing, but all that which is unwanted material that is taken off. And then comes a beautiful masterpiece, the statue. So that is, we should also see such things in our lives that they help us in personal growth, like that. And that is, I see that spirituality is very important for our personal growth. Like you'll see in Maslow, there is physical need, there is mental need, there is intellectual need, there is an egoistic need, and on the top there is the need of self-actualization. Yeah. So among all the needs, the need of spirituality is also one of our needs. So we should take up our physical needs. We should have nice food, take proper rest. You should do some kind of exercise. We also have social needs. We should socialize with our friends, our family members, our well-wishers. That's also required. Intellectual needs, when we are in college, we are learning, we are growing ourselves. So that's also required. Apart from all of this, we also need to take care of our spiritual need. So we are at the core, we are spiritual beings. So in order to have complete evolution, we need to take care of all the phases of our life. We need to take care of the physical aspect, the mental aspect, the intellectual aspect, social aspect, and of course, the spiritual aspect as well. And the mass law, the derivative of this mass law, also mentions that the need of self actualization is the core of all the needs. And that's why we are seeing people who are having their spiritual needs being met. Even if something is not there in terms of physical need or mental need or intellectual need, they are still okay. But those who are having their physical needs, mental needs, intellectual needs being met, but they are not taking care of their spiritual need, they become very hollow and shallow in due course of time, and they are not able to work on themselves. They're not happy. You know, that's why. So that's why we need to work on that aspect, which is the spiritual need. And that's why I saw one video of one IAS officer. IAS officer. He has power, post, position, but he made a selfie video of committing suicide. That I'm fed up with the corruption in the system, and I can't change it, so I'm committing suicide. But in case he had the spiritual substance, he would have saved himself. We see on regular intervals on some Bollywood industry, from Bollywood industry, some entertainment industry guy committing suicide. With Divya Bharti, Nafisa Joseph, Praveen Bobby committing suicide after. So we get to hear about them. Why? Because they do not cater to this aspect of their existence, which is spiritual need. We have to take care of that. Like there is saying that in case we have the talent, if there is only talent, the person becomes arrogant because the person has talent. But along with talent, if there is good attitude, so then the person becomes malleable. That means this person is very flexible. He mold himself into various situations because the person is having good attitude. So only talent leads to arrogance, but talent plus good attitude leads to malleability. But in case there is talent plus good attitude plus good character, yeah, plus good character, that makes a person trustworthy. बंदे का चरित्र भी अच्छा है. Wow, that makes that person becomes trustworthy. But in order to become capable in our lives, we should also have the X factor along with these three: talent plus good attitude, okay, plus having good character. We should also have blessings, and that's the X factor to become capable in our lives. Like in Bhagavad Gita, we see the example of Arjuna. Arjuna was talented, he was having good attitude, and he was having good character as well. His character was so pure that even when he was in heaven, and Urvashi, she's such a beautiful lady in heaven, but he said, "Oh, respected mother," you know, he was so respectful, even though she was trying to seduce him, but he was having such a nice character. So he had good character, good attitude, and talent as well. But fourth thing, which he actually seek during the time of Bhagavad Gita on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, was blessings. Blessings of his seniors, and ultimately the blessing, the grace of Lord Shri Krishna. And that made him capable actually. Like they're saying life is a rat race, but in the rat race, whether you win, whether you lose, you are still a rat. So we have to convert this race into grace. So we have to add G before the race, and then it becomes grace. So what is G? Gravitational constant. G. Well, not really this time. G stands for the grace of God. Yeah, the grace of great people in our lives, gurus. So when they bless us, so the blessing makes is the X factor which makes us capable for our evolution, our complete evolution. Actually, so having talent, good character, good attitude, and the blessings, they equip us so that we become completely evolved personalities. Actually, in this way, we evolve ourselves. Of course, evolution can be a step-by-step process. And our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada used to say, think small, sorry, think big, but start small. Think big, but start small. बड़ा सोचिए लेकिन शुरुआत छोटे से करिए. Yeah, that's very important. So in this way, for evolution, we may start small. That's absolutely okay. Like say, for example, in case you want to get up early in the morning and you're getting up early, say every day at 8 o'clock, do not go for 4 o'clock all of a sudden. 7:30, yeah, and then 7:15, maybe 7 o'clock, 6:30, then 6 o'clock, 5:30, 5 o'clock, gradual. So all that which is gradual becomes substantial actually. So in this way we can make our new year evolution, that we evolve ourselves substantially. All right, I'll stop here now. Hare Krishna. If anybody has any question, we can go for the questions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Actually, you were talking about addiction, bad habits. So there is a doubt in my mind. Like in this era, when people are falling in trap of web series, I have fallen in trap, not trap basically, in something else. Basically, in a few days ago, I started watching Mahabharat serial made by Star Plus, and I finished all 287 episodes in 15 days.
Oh my
And
God.
it was so addictive that I keep on watching, and whole day and every time Lord
Oh.
Krishna used to rule my mind.
Oh
And
wow, that's great.
and after that, after finishing Mahabharat, I just banged on Devo Ke Dev Mahadev, and in just 12-15 days, I have completed 300 episodes. Like after every episode, watching again and again and again, and now Lord Shiva is ruling my mind whole day. So actually, one way I'm feeling like I'm not wasting my time because I'm seeing something good. But in again, it's like I am giving a lot of time on that. So how to deal with that?
Yeah, of course, there are some good habits as well, you know, and to cultivate good habits is certainly very good for our own selves. But at the same time, we should not compromise with our academics. They're also very important. Like during my college days, I would love to read Bhagavad Gita, but I had reserved some time. Like when in the bus, and I'll board the bus from my home to the college. So I read Bhagavad Gita in the bus. And but when I'm in college, when I'm in my library, then I would just study my course books. So that ways you can reserve some time because you like to watch these epic serials, and they are not mythological text. Like sometimes people say, well, as per Hindu mythology, there is no such thing as mythology. They are glorious text in the scriptures, and you are seeing them. That's very good. But you can have a time for it. Say, for example, say half an hour, 45 minutes in a day. But rest of the time, you focus on your studies as well, and also your good health. Just do not just keep watching. You also work on your good health as well. Go for a brisk walking, eat healthy food. So work on that aspect of yourself as well. Yeah. So that will holistic care. Yeah, that's good. So what you're doing is good, but you have to balance it with the rest part of your life.
Thank you, sir.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Sir, first of all, I would say that it is a dream come true to talk to you today. You have inspired me a lot in the last 6 months through your YouTube videos and has changed my life dramatically. Sir, recently I came to know about something. I was fascinated after reading some things like the monks when they enter the spiritual realm, when they join a monastery, they are told to keep silent, and they speak very less. I watched a few videos
We
about
speak a lot.
but in the initial stages, like they're told to keep silent and ponder upon life and things like that. So
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about this. The why are the monks told to keep
Okay.
silence?
Yeah, actually, there are two kinds of monks. One are known as godless monks. Another are known as god lover monks. So those who are godless monks, they are asked to keep quiet so that all that nonsense which they have been doing up until now, that should come to halt. But those who become god lover monks, they are asked to speak, but after hearing. They do not just sit beneath a tree and contemplate on life. When there is nothing inside, what will they contemplate on? So that's why first they should hear. So that is in the beginning part of their life, they hear a lot. And of course, when after hearing sufficient amount of content, then they also start delivering to the people. And yet parallelly, they are also hearing. Like I have been a monk, I have been connected to ISKCON from past 20 years. And even today also I spend time in hearing, listening, reading scriptures. Even today also I do. So just staying quiet is not good. Even a chair is quiet. Even a table is quiet. So the goal of life is not to become as great as a table or a chair. We are human beings. So God has given us a faculty to speak, hear, listen, like that. So we should use them in a right way. Not that we should just become quiet. We should speak. We should in fact speak good things a lot. मुझसे एक बार किसी ने पूछा कि ना ये बुरे काम क्यों बढ़ रहे हैं, दुनिया में बुराई क्यों बढ़ रही है, तो मेरा जवाब उनको यही था क्योंकि अच्छे लोग चुप हैं. अच्छे लोगों को भी बोलना चाहिए. अच्छे लोगों को चुप नहीं रहना चाहिए. बुरे लोग देखो बड़ बोले जा रहे हैं यहाँ पे न्यूज़पेपर में, यहाँ पे यूट्यूब में, फला ढिमका, so much is there. So good people should also speak a lot of good things, yeah, so that we create the vibrations of goodness all around. So इसलिए चुप रहना, हाँ, उसलिए अच्छा है कि आप ठीक है कोई आलतू फालतू बात नहीं करना, लेकिन हमें कुछ अच्छी बातें भी बोलनी चाहिए. We should speak good things as well, so that we contribute to the society for the betterment. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, sir. Sir, एक छोटा सा क्वेश्चन और था कि
जी.
सर हाउ डू आई जो बिकम अ मॉन्क आफ्टर कंप्लीटिंग माय इंजीनियरिंग, मेरे ये गिव अप हो रहा है संसार से.
Okay, well, in case you think that world is too troublesome for you, and that's why you want to become a monk, I would say, well, you experience the world, and then with the blessings of your parents, you may, of course, you are welcome to be the part of our gang of monks. But yes, you should complete your studies well. Do not compromise on your studies, and also take care of your responsibilities towards your parents. And in case your parents allow you, they bless you. Okay, beta, you want to go for a good life for the welfare of society. We bless you. In case they give you the blessing, so of course you are welcome.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Hello.
Yes. Hello, Hanji. I got to hear two voices. Yes. All right. So I think Gaurav Prajapati.
My question is, yes, sir. My question is on association.
Okay.
If one person is associating with other, say one is good, one is bad, then how the goodness always dominates, and it's we can think on other way also that good person is associating with bad person. For bad person, he wants to be good, and for good person, he wants to be remain good.
Okay. So both of them should associate with super
If
good.
someone associate with devotees, yes, sir.
Yeah. So in
Then
that
how
case, both of
it
them should
always
associate with
dominates
super good.
goodness
So good
in
will remain
association.
good, and the bad will become good in the association of the super good. Is that okay?
Yeah,
And
hello,
also, Prabhuji,
Amogh.
in society, if we, we follow these principles, people reject us in the social. How to handle that social rejection?
Well, you'll see
Society
that not
will
everyone
reject us
rejects
if
you.
we
In case you're
remain
becoming good,
different.
not that everyone will reject you. Only those who would say, "अरे यार ये निंदा चुगली नहीं करता यार, हम चाहते हैं कुछ तो गंदी बात क्या करे यार, थोड़ा बढ़िया वाली गाली कुछ तो बोला कर भाई, ये बेकार आदमी है." अच्छा ऐसे लोग आपको छोड़ देते हैं, that's very good. But you can always find good association. Even in college days, देखो अच्छे भी होते हैं, दोनों बदमाश भी होते हैं, नॉटी बच्चे भी होते हैं और सिंसियर बच्चे भी होते हैं. So you can always find that group. Yeah, you may have hi hello with the badmash group, but you can always associate with those who are focused and those who are having good-hearted souls. So that one can very easily acknowledge, because by being in good association, you will get values. In bad association, you lose your values. Yeah. So that ways you can be choosy about that, where you want to invest your time, your energy in
Thank you.
terms of association. ठीक है जी? All right. Next question. I think somebody else was also saying in between.
Amogh ji, namaste.
Namaste
I
ji.
have a question.
हाँ जी पूछिए.
Yeah. Okay. The question is like when you are on the spiritual path, you tend to have this understanding that you have to focus on your actions than the outcomes of that. But sometimes in the professional world, what happens is the due credit is also important for the professional growth. Like for example, I'm into research. Then we have worked for so many years of our life to be into this profession. And the authorship, when you're writing a research paper, the authorship is such that the ranking of the authors is based on the hard work you have put in, the amount of work you have put in. So what if majority of the work suppose I am doing and someone else is taking credit of it? So in this situation, how do you deal with it? You don't, and obviously in the next research paper, if I'm continuously thinking about what kind of authorship I'll get, maybe my motivation will deviate. I won't be able to give my 100% or 200% into something for which I won't get the credit for, and I might.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it is quite possible that when you are working, somebody may take the credit. It happens, especially I have worked in the corporate sector. It used to happen that I would make the reports and then just give it to my boss, and then my boss would just forward it. Just button and then take the credit. So it can certainly happen in some of the areas of life. But you should also see that when things are firstly not in your control, okay, then you should not much worry about them. You should not, it should not bother you because the things are beyond your control. Also, you should also focus on your personal own content. More you have spiritual substance in your life, even if somebody is taking a credit or not taking a credit, it will not bother you because you are so much filled within yourself. Your inner content is so rich that nobody can move you just because the person has taken the credit. So not just this, apart from this, there can be many other things which can just move us, disturb us. But we should work on our inner content that these things can happen. That you have worked hard, somebody else is taking credit. In case he's not able to do that, then he would play politics and all that. So it would be there, and we are going to be surrounded by all these things. What we need to understand is that when I increase my spiritual content within my heart, these things should not bother me. Ultimately, you should be at peace with yourself. That's most important. In case you're not able to do that because of, you are just too light and everybody can just blow you away, that should not happen. So bring more weight in your character, in terms of getting spiritual content, so that these things do not bother. They would be there, taking credit, whether you are working here or somebody else or somewhere else, sometimes in the family, sometimes on the professional front. These things would be there, they are unavoidable. But we have to work on our own selves, that we should not be moved by such things. Yeah.
Hello,
Okay.
sir.
Next question. Yes.
Uh, how, sir, how to remove the anxiety and depressions? Since, sir, actually, I am suffering a writer's cramp problem from
What is that?
2018. I am suffering from writer's cramp problem in my hand. Means
Okay. Okay.
I am not able to write properly since
I see.
2018,
I
and
see.
even I have consulted in IIT Bombay hospital
Hmm.
and PD Hinduja hospital. So
Okay.
I have consulted some neurologists in PD Hinduja hospitals. So
Okay.
they directly declined me that there is no permanent solutions for that
Okay.
problems. So
Okay.
because of that, I am not able to perform in my academic.
I see.
And last month I went to AIMS Delhi. I met with
Uh-huh.
neurologist head
Uh-huh.
of department, and since even she also declined, there is no permanent treatment for
Hmm.
that problems.
Hmm.
So again after that I met one neurologist. So they gave me some medicine related to
Hmm.
depressions.
I see.
Yes, sir. So I don't know what I do since I am suffering from writer's cramp.
Okay. So, but I can perceive that that's you have the desire to write, but you're not able to write because, in your right hand, the capability to write is not there because of this problem, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah. So, in terms of say,
And sir, in YouTube, I saw that that problem is occurred due to the serotonin hormones is released in brain.
I see. Okay.
So they preferred me that you have to do meditation to
Great.
secrete the serotonin hormones,
Wow. Wonderful.
and means you are suffering from depressions or some anxiety
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
of that.
Yeah.
So how to do, sir?
Firstly, when the way the life is changing, the way the life is unfolding ourselves, we should also unfold ourselves so that we move along with the life, and that's practical actually. Of course, for this follow, I can say that you can use speech to text facility, and that has got 90% accuracy in case you are speaking very clearly. So 95% accuracy with speech to text facility. You speak and it writes down. You can do a little bit of editing. Say, for example, you said sought, it wrote brought, something like that. Of course, these kind of changes can be made. So you can still be an author using text speech to text facility. And apart from that, as you are suggested that you should do more on meditation and all that, well, you can do that as well. Also, you can contribute to, say, audiobooks. Now there is a fashion of audiobooks. So you can give your knowledge in the form of audio thing, and then it can be there as audiobook as well. You can make nice videos, what you're going to present in your books, make nice video on YouTube. People get to hear that. And I've seen people are not so book savvy, especially in northern India, they were not so book savvy. So let them hear it. Why not? People are so busy. Let them be walking and then hear the knowledge which you want to share. So that is, we have to upgrade ourselves as per the time, as per the thing, as the life is unfolding. We should also upgrade ourselves as the unfolded life. In this way, we would not be frustrated. In this, we would not be frustrated.
Sir,
So, yeah.
how, sir? Everyone told me that you don't think too much, but automatically several thoughts comes in my mind. So how do I avoid it? Hello, hello.
Okay. I hope everything is okay. Yeah. Okay. If anybody has any question, yeah.
Uh, there was a connection issue, I think.
Yeah.
He was continuing his question, I think.
I was asking that how do I do what I do that so that in my mind negative thoughts and various kinds of thoughts will not come.
Yeah. So bring the flood of positive thoughts. Just like there is an ink pot. An ink pot that has got, it's filled with ink. So you take a pipe, which has got water, and full throttle the, now the water is entering the ink pot. What happens ultimately? The ink is replaced with the water, right? Similarly, let there be a full on, full blown, the flow of thoughts, the positive thoughts, devotional thoughts, spiritual thoughts, and all that negativity, that ink would be taken away from your subconscious mind in a due course of time. I wish you all the very best for that. Okay, next question, please.
Uh, Hello, Hare Krishna
Yes,
Prabhuji.
yes,
Yeah,
Rupali ji, please.
yes. Prabhuji, I want to ask one question because I associated with the SCON Delhi since last 2 years. And
Okay.
how we can keep a balance in between the spiritual life and personal and professional life, because when you started to chanting a lot of mantras and
Hmm.
starting to reading books, then your feeling towards spiritual life becomes small as compared to your personal and
Yeah.
professional. But it is very difficult to run away from your personal life. So it's,
Yeah.
sometimes you wake up in midnight and you want to
Hmm.
run away from all the things, so it's very difficult. How we can keep a balance?
Yeah. Usually the image of spirituality is छोड़ो घर बार चलो हरिद्वार, छोड़ दो घर बार चलो हरिद्वार चलते हैं, बस बहुत हो गया जी. And this is spirituality. No, this is not spirituality. Sometimes it is actually carelessness. We can
Okay.
balance it out. I can share my own personal experience because I have been an engineering student, and after that I worked as a corporate guy as well for 6 years. How I used to manage that, uh, I would get up early in the morning and chant my rounds of the holy name, and the rest of the day I'm in office. I would do my duties very well, come back and spend time with my parents, go to the market, purchase something for them, like that I would do. And then last 1 hour before going to sleep, I would read some holy book, read some leelas of the Lord, and then take rest, like that. And once in a week, I would go to, say, the Hare Krishna temple and associate with devotees, ask my questions, my doubts, and all that. Once in a week, I'll do that. Sometimes, like, say, what, twice in a week, but mostly once in a week, or at the max sometimes twice in a week. But rest of the time, I would take care of my family, my members' needs, and all that, socializing with them, and all that I would do. Same pattern I was following when I was working as a corporate. So in this way we can balance out. We can keep a time slot for spirituality and time slot for our family needs and family responsibilities, obligations, like that. And in this way we can be spiritual. We don't have to escape. In fact, Arjuna was trying to escape the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and Lord Krishna said, no, you have to mam anusmara yuddhicha. You have to remember me and fight. That means you have to do your duty of fighting, but you have to remember me as well. So do both the things in parallel. Sometimes this thing takes a priority. Sometimes this thing takes a priority. Like during exams, when we are studying in our college, and you are having your final exams now, you need not visit a temple at that time, or if in case it's a visit, it can be a short visit, and then come back and focus on your studies. So during exam time, you're focusing more on our studies. When it's off the exam, then of course you can more, giving more time to spirituality. So as the time goes, like when those performers, they walk on the rope, and they have a stick. They have a bamboo stick. Sometimes the bamboo stick is on this side, sometimes on this side, sometimes this side and this, and in this way the person passes that the rope path. So we can do similar thing in our life. Sometimes giving priority to one thing, another thing as the time goes, and this way we can pass our life balancing the both nicely.
Okay, we'll try.
Yeah, all the
Thank
best.
you.
I know it's a struggle. I know it's a struggle, but it's a very healthy struggle. It keeps us active. It keeps us rejuvenated. So that way it's a good struggle. I've seen this kind of struggle, but that's understood. That's normal. That's okay. That's okay. It's a good struggle. It's a worthy struggle. Yeah.
Thank you,
And
Prabhuji.
struggle means there is life. If there is no
Yes.
life, if there is no struggle, that means there is no life. So in case
Correct.
there is some little bit struggle, it's a positive struggle. It's a good struggle. So you are having life. Congratulations, Rupali ji. You are having life.
Thank,
Yeah. So
thank you,
some struggle. It's
Prabhuji.
okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Oh yes, Hemant Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, sir. Prabhuji, my question is
Right.
like in this young age, like how to deal with the attraction with the opposite gender. Like
How? Acha. ये जवानी है दीवानी.
it's like in the age of digitalization, like we use Facebook and other things, like and in the real life also,
हाँ
like women, then we get distracted
हाँ
and
हाँ हाँ.
affects our studies also.
Well, it's not that. Well, of course, boys and girls, when they're working together, they are studying together. So it's there, especially in co-ed system, they are there. But I would say we should avoid flirting with each other. Of course, if we can have social exchanges, we can share our notes, we can help each other in our projects, in our vivas, in the subjects. Any kind of help we should be ready. But at the same time, we need to be cautious not to be flirtatious. Sometimes we tend to become flirtatious, especially when the girl is very beautiful, or a girl sees when a guy is very handsome. So we tend to be flirtatious. That of course we should be conscious about. Otherwise, you can talk to them, you can greet them, good morning, good evening, Hare Krishna, whatever, in case you want to have socialize. But flirtatiousness is what we should avoid. And in case if you are very respectful towards the opposite gender and you develop this kind of a value system, so then there is nothing, then it's absolutely okay, it's fine. I also worked in a co-ed system in schooling as well as in college. I also used to talk to girls. In fact, in corporate sector, we also shake hands. Hi, how are you doing? You do that, but you don't flirt with them. So avoid flirting with them. That would be sufficient. Yeah. The rest of the exchanges, because we are staying in a social circle, we are to have exchanges, social exchanges. So that's okay. But flirting thing is, it goes a little extra. So that we should avoid. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Like I had two questions. First question is that like whatever you said, is self-control and self-consciousness the only tools to overcome that? Or is there any other method? Because we all know, we all have that intuitive feeling what's good for us and what's bad for us. But
Yes.
somehow we dwell into a mixture of that
Hmm.
at every stage of life.
Hmm.
So is self-control and self-consciousness the only tools via which we can overcome
Exactly.
those things?
Yes, of course. हालांकि हम लोग हिंदी में वही बोलते हैं, बड़ा मनमौजी आदमी है यार, बंदा इतना मनमौजी है यार. लेकिन एक्चुअली मनमौजी होना अच्छी बात नहीं है. अगर कोई मन से चल रहा है, मन जहां ले जाता है वो करता है, यार मैं मनमौजी हूँ, ऐसे लोग सुसाइड भी कर लेते हैं. मन ने बोला बस हम जी के क्या करेंगे, जिंदगी में ना कोई रंग है ना कोई ढंग है, जिंदगी कटी पतंग है, मर जाओ यार. तो गोली खा करके, हार पे पी करके, नस वस काट करके वो लोग मर जाते हैं. So that way we should not be driven by the mind. We have to have self control. We see that, like recently there was example of Sushant Singh Rajput. Actually, of course, what happened was quite unfortunate, and we pray for him. But somewhere it was also an example that one could not control himself. You know, drugs is a big thing which is in Bollywood, and that makes a person go out of control altogether. So we are to work on our self control. Otherwise, we cannot live in a civilized society. If I see my mothers and sisters walking around on the road, somewhere I have this way that people have some sense of self control. So without self control, we cannot have a civilized society. So self control has to be there. Otherwise, तो अब ये है ना, जिंदगी मिलेगी ना दोबारा, कल किसने देखा है, ये बहुत खतरनाक स्टेटमेंट्स हैं एक्चुअली. कल हम सब देखेंगे और जिंदगी हमको मिलेगी दोबारा. डोंट वरी, एज पर कर्मा वी गेट न्यू लाइफ. So we have to work on our present to make our future bright. So self-control is the key, actually. That's why there is a saying, self-conquest is the greatest victory. Self-conquest is the greatest victory, actually. When Alexander the Great, when he came to India, And there was one bhikshuk. He was one devotee of the Lord, and he was sitting beneath a tree. So Alexander the Great came to him along with his army. He said, "Ask this beggar to pay respect to me. He should know who I am. I'm Alexander the Great." So the minister just got down. He said, "Hey, you beggar, pay respect to Alexander the Great. He is the world conqueror." And then that beggar, who was actually a bhikshuk, a devotee of the Lord, he said, "Well, he's not the conqueror of the world." And as soon as Alexander the Great he heard it, he just got down from his horse and he took out his sword. He said, "What did you say? What did you say?" He said, "I said that you are not the conqueror of the world." He said, "I just chop off your head." He said, "Currently you are ruled by anger. You are ruling the world, but anger is ruling you. So that means you are not the conqueror of the world, because you are conquered by anger." And immediately these words struck the heart of Alexander. He said, "Yes, you are right. I'm not the conqueror of this world because I could not conquer myself. I conquered the world, but I have not conquered myself." So self-conquest is the greatest victory. Even people have conquered the world, but they could not conquer themselves. That's very important. Self-conquest. We have to do that.
And also, I had one more question. What is the difference between, is like, if there's a difference between being religious and being spiritual? Like, what I feel is that
Okay.
being as an ISKCON member, like you are
Mhm.
into ISKCON from past 7 years, but whatever I had read about ISKCON, it's more about Hare Krishna and being religious about the chantings of like the Gitas
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
Krishna
Uh-huh.
ji. But
Yeah.
being a spiritual, like I listen to Sadhguru. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so he is a spiritual leader. So
Uh-huh.
he is not more into being religious. So I just wanted to ask, like, what is the difference between the two?
Actually, religiosity and spirituality, they are inseparable. They are inseparable. So what is the connection between the two? I give you example from Valentine's Day. Okay. Like if somebody has feelings for someone, okay, I got feelings for someone. So those feelings are there, and I express those feelings with a red flower, or say a bouquet. Okay, I love you. The roses are red, the sky is blue. Oh my darling, I love you. I say all of these poems and all that, and I give the red rose. Okay, so I have the feelings, and there is also expression of the feelings. I have the feelings, and there is expression of the feelings. Similarly, the feelings which we have is actually spirituality. And when we express those feelings with certain kind of activity, that's religion. Say, for example, if I pray, by folding hands like this, or say like this, yeah, this is expression of my spirituality. My spirituality is expressed like this. Like there are people who sit like this, okay, having a straight backbone. So but actually, all of this is also a kind of ritual which we do to express the feelings of spirituality. So feelings should be there, and expression of feeling should be there. So feelings is spirituality, expression of the feeling is religiosity. So they are inseparable. Both should be there. Say for example, your mother asks you, "Shivangi beta, तू मेरे से प्यार करती है?" And you say, "हाँ माँ, मैं तेरे से बहुत प्यार करती हूँ." और आपकी माँ बोले, "बेटा बड़ी थक गई हूँ, बाजार से आई हूँ, थोड़ा पाँव दबा देगी?" और आप अपनी माँ को बोलो, "कामचोर कहीं की, अपने पाँव खुद दबा लेना, लेकिन एक बात बोलूं, मेरे दिल में बहुत प्यार है तेरे लिए." माँ कहेंगी, "दूर दूर फिट्टे मुंह, क्या प्यार है तेरे तेरे अंदर है? मैं थकी हारी आई हूँ, तेरे से कह रही हूँ पाँव दबा दे." कहती है, "एंड यू से, well माँ, in my heart there is so much love for you, but I not massage your feet." Is that really love? No, that's not love. Love has to be expressed, right? Love not expressed is not love. Similarly, spirituality is expressed with religiosity. So expression can be different. Say if I say, like on Valentine's Day, somebody gives pink rose, a red rose, or a yellow rose, but everyone has got the same feelings, right? Similarly, spirituality is expressed in different ways. Sometimes those who are Christians, they may kneel down. Those who are Muslims, they may pray like this. Those who are Hindus, they may pray like this. Those who are Buddhists, they may sit like this. So these expressions are different: red rose, pink rose, yellow rose, but the sense of spirituality is there, is same. So both are required. Religion is also required, spirituality is also required. Both are inseparable. Both are inseparable. They are like two sides of the same of the coin. They're always together. Feelings as well as expression of the feelings. Both of them, they complement each other.
Okay,
Is that
thank you.
okay?
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All right. So now let's take the last question then. Okay, anybody has any question? Last question?
Yes, I have one question.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, the one who, Badawaji, yes.
What's your source of inspiration on going on in this life? I mean, so many people are meeting you, so many programs, heavy schedules. Means what's your inspiration? You certainly are not working for yourself. You don't earn any money, and you don't have in your own channel also. So means for whom you do all this stuff?
Okay, I do this as a service to humanity. I do this as a matter of gratitude to all my teachers who have taught me so many things. So I do it as a matter of gratitude towards all my teachers, and ultimately it's gratitude to Lord Krishna for this life. That, oh God, you have given me so many things. You have really blessed me. So let me become a small instrument of your blessings to this world. So in this way, gratitude towards God, gratitude towards all my great teachers who has invested so much in me, and of course, as a selfless servant of the humanity at large, because I've seen people in this world, they are really struggling, even though they have all what they think is happiness, but they're not happy with all of that. So that is in order to serve people. That's my motivating force, because I've seen there are many activities which are happening all across the globe to help the body by feeding the poor, having anath ashrams and vridhashram, and they are very good. I appreciate that. तन की सेवा तो सब कर रहे हैं, लेकिन लोगों के मन की सेवा कोई नहीं कर रहा, और लोग तन से कम दुखी हैं, मन से ज्यादा दुखी हैं आज. तो इसलिए लोगों के मन की सेवा करना भी बहुत जरूरी है. So I decided that I should do मन की सेवा, लोगों के मन की सेवा करना. So if their minds would be healthy, it will make this world a better place to live in. So that is what drives me to go on with enthusiasm. That's what I feel is, yeah, is the reason.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. So
thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for such a lovely and motivational talk. I hope that the 4 steps of association, conviction, environment, and resolution will help us all to evolve and bring discipline and focus in our life.
Great.
And lead us to more success in our life. Thank you for taking out time from your busy schedule and enlightening us with your talk.
Thank you very much.
We would like to thank Mantra of Life for proposing the talk, our Dean Director for providing the necessary support, and we would also like to thank Professor Neeraj, who is our faculty mentor, for giving his valuable time and joining us for the session. We are privileged to have him with us. I'll also like to thank our audience, the professor, students, and our staff members who joined us to make this successful. Last but not the least, I'd like to thank the Sports Council and our Yogastha team for their cooperation and effort they have put to host the event. Thank you all. Thanks for the session. Thanks.
Okay, thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, sir, for sparing your time and answering all the questions with so much patience. You finished your talk at around half an hour ago. Still, you patiently answered all the questions without any rush. Thank you so much for your efforts. Thank you, everyone, for taking out your valuable time and utilizing it for this session. A last announcement that please fill the feedback forms before you go so that we can connect with you better and arrange more such sessions. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna. Have a nice year ahead.